Women are wildly outperforming men. Based on my experience at least, most of my male friends from high school are still living with their parents, seemingly without any direction in life. Meanwhile, in my college classes, the overwhelming majority of students are women. It really feels like there's a major societal shift happening. Gen Z women are becoming more educated and ambitious, while many Gen Z men seem to be stagnant, unemployed incels! There's that word! There's that word! This person says, today society leaves men feeling left behind. That's why they easily fall for right-wing propaganda. Chat, it's funny because, like, people will say that, and they will say that my chat, for example, is really right-wing, like, really right-wing, and that we have Nazis in my chat, like, random people that hate me will say that. But they don't realize I actually have a decent amount of people that are libbed up. Yeah, like, pretty decent amount. I do notice it. And that's fine! I don't want a fucking echo chamber, what the frick? It gives them sense of purpose because they have no dads or something like that. They should have added that at the end too. And something to strive for. Without it, most men don't know what they want or what to do. I disagree completely. Society hasn't left men feeling behind. Right-wing men have convinced other men they are being left behind. Somehow we spun the statistic of women being more present in college and men being less so in college, and maybe men are in a different spot in life. They realize college is a scam and women are the ones falling for it. Have we ever thought about that? It could also be that men are like, hey, maybe I should go to trade school and I should be like a carpenter or something. Sometimes when I browse TikTok chat, I see women absolutely breaking down from having to work for corpo borpos. Like, you went through all this women's suffrage just to want to stick yourself back in the kitchen because corpos are draining your soul. I've seen so many women that are like, I hate my corpo 9 to 5. I want to go back to, like, freaking being in the kitchen. And then people call them pick-me's, but unironically, I think that it is way more comfy to be at home cooking and cleaning than fucking draining your balls at a 9 to 5. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe some people will disagree with that, but waking up every morning, shitting, cooming, pissing your pants, packing your lunch, I don't know, brushing your hair, putting on your makeup, get dressed, put on your fucking perfume, and then having to sit in the fucking traffic for 3 hours just to get to work doesn't sound very fun. I'd be a house husband. Well, skill issue. Grow some titties. Go back to the wagey cagey. What is it called? Wagey, raging cagey. If you leave your job to be a stay-at-home wife, your husband needs to make double the income. Not that easy, Lamau. Well, that's the problem. Again, we're going back to, like, expanding on this topic that I've talked about, like, at least 30 times by now. I totally agree. The economy's so fucked that in America, or at least most Western countries, you need to have a 2-income household to sustain you. And even then, sometimes it's not enough. That's what they want. They want to suck your balls. Yeah, 4 income at this rate. Yeah, start to get the kids back into the factory too, into the mines. Also, I think there's also a very big societal shift to favoring trade school. And trade school is significantly more attractive to men because they're more hands-on than women. Like, sure, there are women that want to be carpenters, plumbers, electricians, or whatever. But it's not even close to women that want to go to college and get a nothing office job and, like, basically draft 1 to 2 emails a day and then go home and get their fucking ass spanked by corpos day in and day out. So yeah, it looks like men are dropping out of society But I'd want to see the number of people enrolling in trade schools, and I have no data on that. I'm just speculating. Liberal arts colleges are filled with useless classes too. They drain the wallet. Oh my gosh, don't get me started on that. When I went to college, I went for a bioengineering degree, or yeah, it was like pre-entry biological sciences into bioengineering. And I had to take like Spanish 101, and I'm like, can I just not take this? This costs like $200 for like a semester. Can I just not do that? And they're like, no, this is mandatory. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean mandatory? I am never gonna use Spanish in fucking biological sciences! Suck my dick! I hated that shit. This is why I dropped out after 2.5 years. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. This is so cringe. The other one was like business. I had to take like 3 business classes for my gen eds throughout all my like 3 years that I had to do, and I dropped out. Yeah. Pero la biología es importante. Then make me take Latin. At least Latin would make some sort of sense. Oh, it's so cringe. I hated it. But anyway, going back to that whole like liberal arts having empty classes, it's for everything. I remember I had a friend, she's a girl, or she was a girl, I don't fucking know. I haven't talked to her in years. Maybe she's changed. But she fucking was a lawyer, and she had to take like classical studies. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why? Yeah, she had to take like classical studies from fucking being a lawyer for 3 years. Also, I think people were heavily indoctrinated during the 1970s and 80s, because I've talked to some boomers that have touched on that, and they said that during the 70s and 80s, college was pushed really, really hard. That's why Gen Xers and like old millennials were basically told to do that, and then it basically escalated to what it is today. But what I was trying to say is like they were, I can't think of a better word, and it's a strong word, but they were kind of like groomed into it to start thinking about college in America as early as 6th grade. And I remember when I went to school in New Zealand, they started doing that 3 years before you graduated out of high school. They start making you go to like some sort of like career like lesson thing, and you have to like pick a career and then like already try and think about what degree you want to do. And I'm just sitting here like, you're what, like 15, 16 years old, and they're already making you think about like your future? Like, let them fucking graduate high school. Same in the US, how the fuck am I supposed to know at 16? Yeah, they start doing it as early as 14 and like 15. It is so sad. Oh right, the whole grooming thing. And I think there's like an overabundance of degrees because of the grooming that came in from college and from society and from like parents that trickle down. And I don't think employers care about them anymore, because I remember when my brother was trying to get a job, he had 2 degrees from like a prestigious university, and they didn't care that he had one. And that was when I wasn't even in, I think I was like in middle school or like early high school when he was doing that, and he hated it. He was like, oh my god, why did I even get these degrees? And my mom and dad are like, well, you should go get another one. And my brother's like, I don't have any fucking money! I remember there was like a whole family argument about that. But anyway, they care about experience, and you can't get experience because you're competing with so many other people to get your foot in the door, and there's nepotism to top it off. And combine that with the heavy presence of like DEI for the last 3 to 4 years for Gen Z, and all of a sudden men are being heavily pushed into like going into trade school, which is a good thing. Sure, I'm sure there's a lot of incels that have no jobs and are needs, and they live in a basement and post on 4chan, or they mod for Reddit. I get it. Pick your poison. But I think a lot of men are just like, fuck this. I'm gonna go be an electrician. And then it works. And then they have kids. And then they're gonna teach their kids how worthless college is. And this is the start of a major trend, in my opinion, for the next generation to reject college. At least I hope so. I kind of want to see if there's like some sort of statistic for trade school. Trade school statistic. Let's do like 2020, because that's like an interesting one. Trade school. Oh, here we go. Trade school enrollment spiked during and after pandemic. Oh, look at that. I was kind of right, huh? That's interesting. Peep it. Peep it. Look, trade school enrollments spike during and after pandemic. Updated 4th of December 2024. Enrollments in trade programs have increased since the pandemic, as those for traditional colleges have generally declined. Growth has been uneven among trade school specialties. At healthcare and culinary arts have experienced especially high growth rates. Overall, 60% of trade school students aren't pursuing degrees. That's very telling. Don't enroll in trade school, it sucks. Guys, compared to going to college and then not being able to get a job, I think that enrolling in trade school is probably not that bad. I don't think it's that bad, genuinely. My brother has 2 degrees from 2 prestigious universities, and he became an electrician. The school isn't the problem, it's the after. But if you go to college and you get a degree, you just don't get a job. The pay isn't great anymore, you just slave away every day. I know, but you have a job. You don't understand. I'm not saying that it doesn't suck, but like at least you have a job. If you go to school, you're indebted to like 80,000 American dollars. And then you don't have a job afterwards, and you're looking for a job, and they keep rejecting you. Yeah. I'm not trying to disparage to say it doesn't suck. I'm sure it does, but like, I think that I would rather have a job and it sucks than not having a job and wanting to kill myself. Yeah. So many people went to trade prices jobs significantly since the balance of offer and demand. Yeah, but there's always gonna be a demand for electricians. I can tell you from personal experience, my landlord was like bitching about finding a electrician for some sort of like repair, and there's just not that many. There's really not. Like for certain places, there's just not. Smuggle on the bricklayer. I'm gonna roof some shit. Yeah, college isn't bad, but college is definitely overhyped. The problem is that Americans in like most Western places were indoctrinated to believe that you have to, that you have to go to college. Or else you'd be a homeless bum. Like my parents told me that. My parents are Russian, and they went to Moscow University, so they're really, really smart. They had to be to go to school. And my parents indoctrinated me into thinking that it's really important that you have to go there, and I'm like, but you just, what happened to my brother? Like he got 2 degrees and it didn't matter, and then he wanted to go to the Navy, and then he wanted to go be an electrician. Like I don't think it's equivalency. Like you guys went to college like 20 years ago, and now it's completely fucked. It's not that you have to. No. You are misunderstanding what I just said. Your parents were very much convinced that you have to go out of college, otherwise you're a bum. I experienced it. A lot of Asian students at my school experienced it. It was absolutely a thing. It's horrible. I wish I could go back and tell my younger self that it doesn't fucking matter that much, because I was stressed out of my fucking mind. Yes, college is good if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer. I totally get it. You cannot just go to college for some random bullshit, or more often than not because your parents or society told you you have no plan and you're just there because you have to be. How many of you have gone to college and then it turned out to be completely something that you hate and then you did something else in the end because you were young and stupid and picked something you didn't want to do? I did. A lot of people did. I would say it's the vast majority. That's me. I did, not me. I did not, technically not. Not me, I know what I wanted. I'm just saying, I think the vast majority of people are just like bummed out and they were disillusioned, and it's annoying to think about how much debt you could be in if you kept going through with what your parents or what you were indoctrinated to do. Yeah. I think college is not a good fit for at least 40% of people. I think that's even generous. I would say it's like, I think that college should be for the top 20%. 40% is very generous. I knew girls who said they went to college and then they basically dropped out and became barbers or like seamstresses. And I'm like, you know, you could have just not done that and gone to a trade school. Like, why did you feel pressured to go to college when it turns out you didn't really want to do it? And they're like, oh, well, I just got pressured into it. Yeah. I did 1 year of community college, felt like a loser for a moment. There was such a stigma around going to uni only a few years ago. Oh yeah, my God. I remember this so distinctly. I remember all the boys that went to community college because they couldn't afford it or they couldn't go to, they didn't have like loans for school. Oh my God, that was another fucking stressful thing. Talking to your parents about loans you have to take from the government, and you're like barely 18 years old and you're freaking out. You're like, oh God, if I don't get this loan, I can't go to college. And your parents are pressuring you and all of your friends are going to college and you're just like fucking losing your mind. Yeah, what do you know about fucking loans and debt at 18 anyway? But that's besides the point. What I was trying to say is, because now you're in debt and you maybe even didn't finish college and you still can't get a job. Yes, college is not worthless. College is good if you have a plan and you have dedication and you know what you want. But that is not the case for a huge demographic of people, and I think those people are being used. Genuinely, I think those people are being used. If you went to college and you found what you wanted to do, that's amazing. Good job. I'm proud of you. That's awesome. I'm glad you didn't have to go through the stupid trauma, because it's stupid. I don't really wish anyone that kind of annoying fucking pain and suffering. I mean first world suffering, but still. And don't forget, chat. This is a perfect example too, by the way, chat. This is really, really good. We saw this fucking meme from Twitter. All these VTubers, I have a master's degree. I have honors in architecture with a flawless 4.0 record to drink water from a dog bowl on stream. I graduated with a degree in biology and now I'm a hoe on the internet. Many such cases. You can't deny it. It's very much a real thing. My same bachelor's degree is free for top students. Even though I didn't know what I wanted, it would have been a waste not to go. Yes, I understand that. I'm just saying. I get it. I just think that people are being used because they want money and they want you to get into debt. And I think it sucks. Again, I'm not mad at my parents for going to college and being smart and getting like fucking degrees. I just think that they should have also understood that at that point when I was growing up 20 years later, when they were done with college, it's not like a 1-to-1. And also it wasn't in the same country. They literally got jobs coming out the fucking gate out of university. I knew a girl that finished a pharmacology degree and it took her 3 years to find a job as a pharmacologist. Explain that one to me! Like, she finished with a 4.0 on everything and she worked so hard. 3 years to find a job, and then she just worked at like fucking retail for most of it while her parents supported her, and I'm like, yep, that sounds about right. Do you think you should deserve this? It's not like she dropped down on bad, what is it called? Bad grades, but anyway, that's about it, so yeah. My parents only need their associate's degree for good jobs. I believe it. I believe it, chat. You say college is a scam. I say that's America as a whole. We're just forced to deal with it. Most of us, high medical debt, car loan, and tax out the ass. But chatter, you misunderstand. It's not just America. It's also most of the West. I know there are European countries that have free college, but when my brother went to university, it was not in America. Like, I'm just saying. It's a lot of Western countries that have to suffer like that. It's not just the US.